18-year-old Savanah Nicole Soto was last seen on Thursday, December 21st, leaving from her apartment that she shared with her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra. The pair was expecting their first child together, and since Savanah was 1 week overdue, she was scheduled to go into the hospital to be induced on Saturday, December 23rd. Both sides of the families were eager to meet the new bundle of joy, but none more excited than Savanah and her boyfriend Matthew. But when relatives learned that Savanah never made it to her appointment, suspicion started to grow.
Story tonight at 10, the search for a missing pregnant teen.
What could have been so urgent that Savanah would have missed such an essential medical appointment and not inform her own doctor, let alone her own family? Savannah's mother and grandmother attempted to get in contact with her several times, but unfortunately had no success. By the end of that Saturday, they knew something was really wrong and decided to file a missing persons report with the Leon Valley Police Department. As each hour went by, the Soto family grew more and more concerned. Where was Savanah, and why wasn't she responding to anyone? Was she deliberately disappearing, or was someone else involved? To answer these and many other questions, let's take a look at what led to the disappearance of Savanah Soto.
We love her, we miss her, whatever's going on, let her come home.
Christmas night, a group of family, friends, and even strangers praying for Savanah Soto's safe return. The pregnant teen was last seen leaving her apartment at Valencia Lofts around 2 Friday afternoon. Her family noticed something was off when she didn't show up to her hospital appointment Saturday night to be induced. She's more than a week past due.
We just pray to God every day, every night, every day, every minute, every second of the day. We pray to God to bring her home. To bring her home safely, because we need her home to complete my family again.
And a clear alert issued Monday. It states Soto could be in a gray 2013 Kia Optima with a temporary Texas tag 4289D57. The family says she was living with her boyfriend and father of her unborn baby. They say they have yet to make contact with him either.
Savanah was described as a bright and kind young lady. She was adored by many and one of the sweetest people you would meet. Like many teens, sometimes she didn't make the best decisions, and one of those choices would turn her into a pregnant teen. Although I'm sure it was shocking to hear that she was pregnant, her family was still very supportive and accepting of the situation and helped out wherever they could. She was close to her family and kept everyone in the loop on the progress of her pregnancy, which is why this case is so disturbing. How could someone who kept constant contact with her family just up and disappear? The Soto family didn't have any answers quite yet, but they knew this was not the doing of Savanah. And as you could imagine, the Soto family was desperate to find their loved one as she was in an extremely vulnerable state. They had no idea what could have happened to her. Was she a victim of domestic violence? Was someone after her for her soon to be born baby? Maybe she got nervous and wasn't ready to give birth just yet. There were just so many different scenarios running through the minds of people following this case, as well as friends and family. But regardless of what may have occurred, no one wanted anything more than the safe return of Savanah and her unborn child. Savanah's mother even took to Facebook to ask the public for help in regards to finding her missing daughter. This would be the first sign of the family specifically pointing the finger to who they believed was behind her daughter's disappearance. Gloria posted, "My daughter is missing. She was scheduled to be induced at 6:30 p.m. and never showed up. If you see her, please reach out to me and let me know where you're seeing her. I'm worried about her safety. She's with her boyfriend who is no good. Prayer for my baby girl." And this was posted on Saturday, December 23rd, 2023 at 9:18 p.m., approximately 3 hours after Savanah was scheduled to be induced. So, as we just read, Savanah's mother believed that her boyfriend Matthew had something to do with her disappearance. But on the other hand, Matthew's family painted him in a different light, as he too had been missing since December 22nd, 2023. Karen Hernandez, who is the mother of Matthew, stated, "If anyone knows my son Matthew Guerra, he and his pregnant girlfriend are missing. I know my son and he wouldn't do anything to hurt her. She is due to have the baby. Her things were left behind that she packed for the hospital, including her purse." The neighbors said they heard Savanah screaming for help, and the next morning they said they saw them get into a Cadillac. My son's phone says the caller is unavailable and their car is not at their apartment. As a mother, I know my son and his girlfriend were taken against their will because my son does what he does for money. He is not an abusive boyfriend. It's envy and those who hate on others who don't need anyone. That has something to do with my son and his girlfriend missing. Please help. If anyone knows anything, let me and his brothers know. Thank you. Now, it's natural for people to defend their family members and paint them in the best light possible for several reasons. But the most important in today's case is simply because if he is known for anything other than something good, there's a chance that people may not take this case seriously or even treat it as a missing persons when it comes to Matthew. And they may even point the finger at him for the disappearance of Savanah, which I'm sure crossed everyone's mind. So, what exactly does Matthew do for a living that has people coming after him in the worst way imaginable? And what is it that Gloria knows about Matthew that paints him as a no good individual? Well, according to Newsweek.com, Matthew has quite an extensive criminal history. The disappearance of Savanah and her boyfriend Matthew marks approximately a 1 year anniversary to a domestic violence occurrence that took place between the couple just last Christmas. Guerra was arrested several days after the Christmas Day assault for making in-person contact with Soto, aka Savanah. He was charged with violating a protective order. That charge was dismissed in April of 2023 due to a missing witness, documents show. Now, I never looked into it to see who this quote-unquote missing witness was, but I'm pretty sure we can assume that it was none other than Savanah. Guerra also refused to comply with a court-ordered anti-domestic violence program while on probation. He was later charged with other crimes, including unlawful carry of a weapon, evading arrest in a vehicle, and reckless driving. Matthew was also charged with failing to comply with the battering intervention and prevention program that the court had ordered him to attend as a direct result of his Christmas Day assault on Savanah. A later probation order issued in June of 2023 allowed Matthew to have contact with Savanah so long as it was not harmful or injurious. The probation order banned Matthew from possessing any firearms. The judge also extended the end of Matthew's probation from June of 2024 to February of 2025. And for the ultra true crime junkies who like to take it a step further and actually review the court documents yourselves, I do have them here on the screen. All you have to do is just pause, zoom in, and you can read everything in its entirety. And credit for these court documents comes from the Facebook account of Arkansas Justice Project. So, with Matthew's prior charges and Savanah's sudden disappearance, you could understand why Savanah's mother had reservations about him. And although her feelings towards Matthew were justified, it appeared he must have cleaned up his act to some degree because they did eventually make up, and as I stated earlier, the pair was reportedly living together at the time of their disappearances. With both families not getting any closer to answers regarding their missing loved ones, they took it upon themselves to start a search for the missing couple. So instead of sipping on coquito, eating good food, smiles, and just opening gifts and having a good time, the friends and families of Savanah and Matthew spent their Christmas holiday searching for the pair. And despite all the efforts put forth, nothing came of the search, but they were determined to keep going. Nothing was going to stop them from finding Savanah and Matthew. As the Christmas holiday rolled by without any more progress in the search, the Soto family would receive a tip that would change the course of this case. According to the family, someone had contacted them stating they spotted the Kia Optima that Savanah was last seen driving in, and it was located on the backside of an apartment complex that neither one of them lived at. So the Soto family called the local authorities for them to check it out. And inside was the horrifying discovery of two lifeless bodies. At the initial point of discovery, Law enforcement would not confirm nor deny the identities of the individuals, but eventually it was confirmed to be Matthew Guerra and the missing pregnant teen, Savanah Soto. From what authorities stated was that it appeared as though the bodies had been in the vehicle for at least 3 to 4 days, maybe even longer, which lined up with their initial disappearances. However, the crime scene was a bit peculiar. According to News for San Antonio, the placement of the bodies didn't make any sense. Matthew was found with a gunshot wound to the back of the head, and he was located in the back seat of the car, while Savanah was found in the front passenger seat, also with a gunshot wound to the head. There was also no gun at the scene, and Savanah's phone was missing. So, although one mystery was solved, it unfortunately created an even bigger one. Who did this to the couple and why? The families of Savanah and Matthew didn't feel as though San Antonio Police Department was doing much to contribute to the progression of this case. But on December 28, 2023, SAPD would drop a bombshell that would let everyone know that they were much more further along than they were letting on. Surveillance footage showed two vehicles at the second crime scene, one being a pickup truck driven by a hefty-sized man, and another vehicle matching the make, model, and color of the car that Savanah and Matthew were known to drive around. Unfortunately, due to the quality of the video and the heavy tinting of their car, it's unclear as to who is in the car, but we do know at minimum that there was a driver. And 9 days later, on January 4th, 2024, the family's prayers would be answered.
Why did you do it? Are you sorry for what happened? Did you know Savanah was 9 months? Did you know she was pregnant?
That car right there.
This is your final chance to say something about your side.
¿Quién te ayudó? Hey guys, we're going this way. ¿Quién te ayudó? ¿Lo hiciste solo? ¿Te arrepientes? ¿Quieres decir algo?
Anything to save your family?
You guys always one side. You don't know what's going on. Back up, guys. Back up. Please don't push me. I'm not leaving you this way. No, I'm not leaving you.
Any messages for the family? You sorry?
They want to know why. Why'd you do it?
You sorry?
Did you do it? Why did you do it?
Did you know she was pregnant?
That's what you say?
Huh? You didn't care?
Why was it the whole family?
Close to Christmas?
Remorse? Anything?
Why, man? Any remorse? You sorry?
Ain't you sorry for lying about what you're saying? You only know what's going on.
Well, tell
You
us.
just made stuff up like always.
Tell us. What's going on?
Did you shoot them?
Did you shoot them?
Are you in the video? Did you kill them or did you just hide the evidence?
¿Quién mató a Savanah?
La mataste.
How'd you know Savanah?
Sí, me casa. ¿Quién los mató?
Was it retaliation?
¿Quién los mató?
You sorry?
Who killed them?
If it wasn't you, who was it then?
Sur la chance to say something. Es última oportunidad para decir algo.
Sí, mira. Closing door. Sí, mira. ¿Sí, ven?
Did you do it? Were you involved?
Are you sorry for what happened?
Are you going to save your family?
How did it feel an unborn baby?
Was it you? What do you want to save your family? To Savanah, to Matthew's family? Anything to say to the
You sorry? You sorry? Well, listen,
Nothing to
listen.
say. An unborn child. It was an entire family.
You sorry?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sergeant Washington Moscoso, W-A-S-H-I-N-G-T-O-N, M-O-S-C-O-S-O. So the individuals you saw this evening, the first individual's name is Ramon Preciado, 53 years old, SID number 443651. The second individual was Christopher Preciado, 19 years old, SID number 1191061. So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is the father, the second individual is the son. They're going to be charged, the son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. So we do expect more charges to be pending. So I'm not going to go into the whole thing. We all know what kind of led us to this, to where we are today. I will say that when we recovered, or when the bodies were discovered on Danny K, obviously the investigation began. SAPD detectives made that location and started collecting evidence. One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene was Savanah's cell phone. And that was handed over to our technology team, who was able to download some information on there. With the assistance of the U.S. Secret Service, we were able to get enough information, and so that information was given to our detectives today. With that information, the detectives were able to find a possible location of where the suspect vehicle that was released on that surveillance camera, the surveillance video, possible location where that suspect vehicle might be. They made that location, and sure enough, the vehicle was there. They did a little bit of surveillance on the video, or on the vehicle, and then were able to determine which house it belonged to. They went up, knocked on the door. The first gentleman, the first individual, the father answered the door. He knew why the police were there. Was cooperated fully with the investigation. We're right here to headquarters, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father. Again, they were both at the home. They were both brought down here, and the interrogations began. Through interrogating the individuals, our detectives had enough. Based on what they said, there was enough information there to get a warrant signed by a judge tonight. Again, to charge Christopher with capital murder and Ramon with abuse of a corpse. Again, there will be more charges pending. This is what we have right now. I'll answer any questions.
Due to the capital murder for the son and then abuse of the corpse charge for the dad, does that mean that you guys believe the son killed them and then the dad helped hide the bodies?
Yes. And so I want to touch base on something real quick. Since the release of the video that we put out on the 28th, internet has blown up with people sending tips and people just sending misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this. We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murderers. So the individual, again, Christopher, we believe committed the murders of Matthew and Savanah, and then Ramon helped.
He didn't say why.
It appears to be a narcotic-related deal that went back.
Do we know the connection between this father and son and Matthew and Savanah, or the connection to the apartment complex?
So there's no apparent connection to the apartment complex. It's just a place where they went to go dispose or hide the vehicle with the bodies in it, and it appears that it was a drug deal. So there was like a drug connection to the suspect and the two victims.
When you say abuse of a corpse, can you talk about that a little bit? Was there any mutilation, or is that?
It's just when you hiding the body, moving the body after discovering them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
When did he kill them? When exactly?
So December 21st, which is a Thursday, just before midnight is when the actual murders took place on that.
And are they going to be charged for the baby? Because in the state of Texas, technically, they could be charged for a third.
Right. So like I said, there's going to be possible charges pending, more charges pending. Our detectives are going to talk with the Bexar County DA to determine if there are going to be any charges facing any charges related to the unborn baby.
And do we know if she was dilated at all?
I didn't have that information from the medical examiners. I know that she was scheduled to be induced. And she didn't make her appointment, which is why the family went to the police to file the missing persons report.
Did he say where exactly they killed him?
I don't have exactly the location, or we just know that they were killed at a different location and then taken to the apartment complex to dispose of the vehicle.
So as you can see, the San Antonio Police Department has been moving quite swiftly with the case. However, there was something mentioned in the brief press conference after the arrest that I wanted to bring attention to, because there was a discrepancy in when Matthew and Savanah were last seen. Many, if not all, news outlets have been reporting that the couple was last seen on Friday, December 22nd. But as we just heard from the officer, was that they were murdered Thursday night, right before midnight, which would cross over into Friday morning. So that's December 21st, not 22nd. And if that is in fact the case, then there's no way anyone would have seen them on Friday leaving from their apartment, because unfortunately they were already deceased. So either the officer misspoke or the news outlets got the dates mixed up. And I'm going to put my money on the officer. So I knew I heard it somewhere, and I kept hearing all of the outlets saying Friday, and I'm like, no. I remember someone of importance saying that this happened on a Thursday, because I remember jotting it down or typing it in my notes. And I finally remembered when they were doing the perp walk. Regardless of whether it was Thursday or Friday, the fact still remains that unfortunately this whole entire scenario occurred over a drug deal gone wrong. And I can only imagine how Savanah's mother feels, because just a year ago, she lost her son, which is Savanah's younger brother, Ethan, to similar matters, to drug-related issues. And with his case, which is also quite sad, he allegedly stole drugs from a drug dealer, and he got pissed off, found out, and he set up Ethan by having a girl pretend to meet up with him to make a purchase of, street pharmaceuticals. And instead of the girl showing up, it was the dealer that he stole from, and he murdered him in cold blood. And what really, really makes this story sad is the fact that it occurred right next to his house. So literally not too far away from home, he was murdered out on the streets. And then just a year later, his older sister is murdered in a similar fashion. It just seems as though the Soto family cannot catch a break, and my thoughts and prayers go out to them as well as the Guerra family, because they all lost loved ones in today's story. Now, as for their killers, Ramon and Christopher, the father, Ramon, will be receiving a charge of abuse of a corpse for assisting his son in moving the bodies, and Christopher will also be getting the same charge in addition to capital murder for the deaths of Matthew and Savanah. And as far as their unborn son, Fabian, the charges that Christopher will be getting for his murder are still pending due to the approval of the DA's office, which is a bit peculiar to me, because why is this not an automatic charge? Why does it have to go through an approval process? I mean, granted, he wasn't born yet, but he was very much full term, and he could sustain life outside of the womb, I'm sure, if that's, what this is in relations to. But I guess only time will tell what comes of that. Now, even though we know this was a drug-related case, I still have a ton of questions. And by the time this video gets posted, I'm hoping that they will be answered. And I'm sure y'all have a lot of questions too. So here are a couple of questions that I have. Does Christopher have a criminal history, or does his father Ramon have a criminal history? Because I just find it very ironic that they knew what to do. Well, not really, because if they did, the bodies probably would not have been found. But in any case, it was the fact that Christopher had confidence that he could call his father for help to cover up what he did, and the fact that his father actually came and helped. That is what's crazy to me. So it makes me wonder, has he gotten in trouble for something before where his father has had to bail him out or assist him in something? It doesn't have to be death, it could just be something else. I wonder if, if that's the case. My next question is, in the surveillance footage where you see Ramon and who we're assuming is Christopher driving Matthew's car, is there a third person there? Because when you look, you can see that there was like a towel or some article of clothing thrown at Ramon. It was kind of like projected towards him and not like he grabbed it. So there was someone else in his truck with him. Who? I don't know. But I feel like there was someone in there. And of course, we don't know who all was in the car with Christopher. It could have just been Christopher with Matthew and Savanah deceased, but there could have been someone else too. We don't know. So that's another question that I have. Now, my final question, because I don't want to keep going, because I could go on and on and on, trust me. But my final question out of all of this is, why in the hell did Matthew bring his very pregnant girlfriend along for a drug dealing? That makes no sense to me. If you want to implicate yourself into that world, that's cool, that's your business. But now you're endangering not only your girlfriend, but your legacy, your child. That is baffling to me. I don't understand. Like, what did he really think his very pregnant girlfriend could do if something went down? Now your whole family is wiped out. And before y'all start, I'm not blaming Matthew, but at the same time, when you enter into this type of world, these types of things can happen. And his father even said it himself, he told him, like, you have to be a leader now. You have a family, you have a baby on the way. You can't keep doing this. It's dangerous. You got to exit stage left. And I don't know if Matthew made the decision to make the change and he was in the process of doing it, or maybe he didn't feel like he needed to change. But whatever the decision was, it was a decision that was made too late. And as a result, now he has no family and he has no life of his own. So I hope this story serves as a lesson to anyone out there. If you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, make that change while you still have the option before it's forced on you. So as I'm getting ready to finish editing this video, I have also been keeping up with a ton of updates regarding this case. It's been kind of hard to ignore. And my original plan was to make a second video regarding additional updates after this video, but a lot of the stuff I was seeing was just mainly talking about trying to get information out of Ramon and his son Christopher, and they're not really doing much talking, so it's just a lot of that same stuff circulating. And then there was a break in the case. So SAPD was investigating a possible third person, like we said. I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew my eyes were not glitching. And as I've been editing this video throughout the week, I've been seeing online that a lot of you guys have also noticed that as well. So high five to us internet sleuths, because we be on it. But in any case, what we were seeing was not deception. There really was a third person involved, and it is mind-boggling to know that this person was involved in this crime. So let's take a look as to who it is.
Rita, as a mother, how can you be involved in this? Rita, did you give everything for your son and the family? Do you have anything to say to these families? Did you give Christopher your gun to use in this murder?
Why did you do it?
Are you sorry? You have nothing to say to the family. Did you give Christopher your gun? How can you sleep at night?
¿Acaso pensaste, Savanah, en su bebé?
How are you able to sleep at night?
¿Crees que le estabas haciendo un bien a tu hijo? Watch out, they groom.
Did you give Christopher your gun?
¿Cómo les ayudaste?
What is your silence supposed to say? What message is your silence
¿Cómo te
sending?
sentiste? ¿No te valió la pena ayudarnos?
Are you sorry?
¿Qué tienes que decir?
Do you have anything to say? Does your silence mean anything? What do you want people to know? What do you want to say to Savannah's mother, Matthew's mother?
Di algo, ahora que puedes.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Good. You guys ready? Okay. Ready? Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We're going to provide you with an update on the Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra case. First and foremost, once again, SAPD wants to extend our condolences to the family of Savanah and Matthew. Today, as you saw, we just made another arrest. This is the third arrest in this case. Just to recap, back on December 23rd, Leon Valley PD reported that Savanah and Matthew Guerra were reported missing to their jurisdiction. On December 26th, SAPD officers received a call for a disturbance. When those officers made that location, they discovered the bodies of Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra. They were found deceased in their vehicle, the Kia Optima, that had also been reported missing. Since then, our homicide unit has done an outstanding job in following this case. They followed every lead. They were able to get surveillance video, which led them to these arrests that were made. On January 3rd, we made two arrests, 19-year-old Christopher Preciado and 53-year-old Ramon Preciado. There was a lot of information on social media that there was a third individual involved. Our homicide detectives were aware of that. However, we were looking for enough probable cause to make that arrest and to present the best case forward to the DA's office. Today, that happened. They were able to develop enough evidence to charge 47-year-old Mirta Romanos, that's Myrta Ramanos. She is believed to be, I'm not sure exactly what the relationship is, but maybe a stepmother to Christopher, 19-year-old Christopher. She is being charged with 3 felonies. The first one being alter, destroy, conceal a human corpse, which is a second-degree felony. She's also being charged with abuse of corpse, which is a state jail felony, and a third charge, tampering with evidence. Through our forensic unit, we were able to develop information from surveillance video that shows Miss Romanos involved the night of the murder. That video surveillance shows her at the home right after the murders, and she was seen on video surveillance leaving in that black truck that we all saw on the surveillance video, and then returning to her home with Christopher and Ramon in that truck. At this time, I'll take any questions that you might have.
It was her weapon, right?
Excuse me?
They matched her weapon to the ballistics?
Right, that tampering with evidence, from what we understand, she stated that was her gun, so we do know that that was her weapon.
And do they believe they were killed in that home? And what was the mother, the stepmom's role
I'm not sure exactly where. We haven't released any of that information. I'm not sure what the circumstances were, but we do know she was involved in helping get rid of the evidence concerning those bodies.
On the 3rd, you guys were under the impression that there were only 2 suspects, or had said that there were 2 suspects that were arrested?
No, our homicide detectives were aware early on in the investigation that there wasn't a third person involved. We know that from the video surveillance when there is that towel that's everyone's talked about being thrown. At that time, we just didn't have enough evidence to say that that was Miss Myrta Romanos. But like I said, since then, they've developed enough evidence from surveillance video from the home showing her leaving with the 2. She gets into that truck, and then when they return to the home, it's her, Christopher, and Ramon in that truck.
Had she called you guys in the past week to come to the house at all? Because I know there's been some reports of vandalism there.
I'm not aware of any of that.
As of right now, are you under the impression there are any more suspects?
At this time, we're confident that there's no more suspects. At this time, we're confident that these were the 3 individuals that were involved in this case.
Do you believe this is connected somehow to a larger ring or crime ring or anything like that?
No, we don't have any information to lead us to believe that. We do know that there was, I guess, a transaction earlier in that night. What happened and transpired was Matthew Guerra and Savanah were killed.
Excuse me, do you happen to speak Spanish?
I do.
So you guys still don't know where they were killed, like if it was at their home or somewhere else?
We believe it was in that area, right near their home.
How cooperative was she?
How cooperative was she? I know there was a search warrant that was issued a few days ago. There was a search warrant, so they had the authority to go into that home. Today, I don't believe she said much.
What happened to the towel?
I don't have that information. Any other questions?
Did she confess today?
She wasn't cooperative today. Thank you, guys.
So she's a stepmother, right?
We believe she's a stepmom.
Not biological.
She's still married to Ramon, or
I don't know if that's a common law or they're living together, but I don't believe they're legally married. But I'm not for sure. She did live. Them 3 did live in the house together.
So now you guys are identifying as stepmother.
Correct.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So as we just witnessed, Christopher's own stepmother was the last and final suspect involved in this murder investigation. I just cannot wrap my mind around the fact that it was an entire family that helped to conceal the murders of another entire family. And with this new development comes new questions. If that gun was in fact his stepmother's, does that mean that Matthew never had a gun at all, like Christopher was originally claiming? Because the bullets that were found in the vehicle were matched to her gun and her gun only, which means there never was another gun. And another gun was never discussed or brought up as a part of the search. So I truly believe this was an ambush still. And then on top of that, did Matthew and Christopher have a relationship outside of this, pharmaceutical interaction, if you will? Because I feel like if he was meeting Christopher for the first time, like dealing to him for the first time, I don't think he would bring his girl along, right? Like, I'm just putting my mind in the mind of a dealer. If I'm meeting a brand new person for the first time, chances are I'm not going to bring my people with me, like not my pregnant girlfriend at least. I might bring a hitter, but I'm not bringing my pregnant girlfriend. So now I'm thinking, okay, is Christopher somebody that he's dealt with several times and he's like, oh, innocent, ain't nothing gonna happen, she can come with me, whatever, and then boom, this happens? And then did they go to school together? Do they have some kind of history? Because I'm really trying to figure out how all of this happened over some weed. Like, I feel like this whole case is too extreme to just be over some weed. I feel like something else is going on here, but I guess only time will tell. Now, I do have another question since, we are now discovering this. Do you guys believe that SAPD really knew that there was a third person involved and they were just waiting on more evidence to stick? Or do you think they just don't want to give us internet sleuths our flowers? Because sometimes we really do be uncovering things. And I think that a lot of these police departments get mad because we're doing their job better than them. Because remember at the beginning of this case, they weren't, moving. They weren't really doing anything. And it was actually the Sotos who had to get a jump start on this case. And then eventually, once SAPD got involved, then things started moving along a little faster because obviously this is their job. This is what they do, right? So I'm just wondering, like, you don't want to give us our credit, or did y'all really know? I guess we'll never know the answer to that. But in any case, I'm glad that they now have all of the suspects involved, and I'm interested to see, how the trial is going to go. But you guys, that is the end of the video. If there are any more updates, we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm very interested to see how the trial proceedings go once that goes underway. But, if there are any other updates you guys want to share down in the comments, you're more than welcome to. Just remember, let's be respectful of each other. If y'all have any other cases you would like requested, just put them down in the comment section or send me an email. The email is in the description box. On the screen, there should be a playlist where you can binge watch all of the other cases that I've covered on this channel until my next upload. I want to thank you guys for watching Savanah and Matthew's story. Hi to all of the new subscribers. Thank you for coming into the DTC family. And I will see y'all in the next one. Stay safe.